Okay, today we're doing a test. We're doing a comparison between the Runcam 3S and the Gopro Session 4. We'll be checking out the bitrate, the frame rate, the picture quality, the audio quality, and all that good stuff. And I think you'll be pretty surprised with the results, because I was pretty surprised with the results. So let me show you my setup. So this is my setup for doing a test, and I'm going to compare the footage between the Runcam and the Session 4. Right, I'm just gonna do a quick line of sight test here, because the controls are a bit different. For lack of a better word, it's yeah, the roll axis, in fact even the pitch axis is acting a bit wonky. So just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna do a quick line of sight test first. Yeah. Okay, I've got my goggles on and we're gonna do FPV now. Right, if you pause the video here, you notice that the GoPro actually has a smaller field of view compared to the Runcam. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the music here so we can get a better idea of what the Runcam and the GoPro sound like. Right. Okay. Now this is the media info which or the metadata which I've extracted from the files. So this is a comparison video between the Gopro Session 4 and Runcam 3S. Now if you take a look here, so they both record under the MPEG-4 format. The format profile for the Runcam 3S is QuickTime, and the GoPro is a JVT. Codec ID QuickTime, and the GoPro is AVC1. File size is irrelevant because the length of the file, but GoPro files are actually much smaller than the Runcam files overall. So the overall bitrate for the Runcam is 32 megabits per second, and the overall bitrate for the GoPro is 25. I'm not sure what iCAD is or AMBA, so I'll skip that. ID1, both of them use the AVC format or AV codec, advanced video codec. So now the Runcam 3S uses a format profile of high L4, whilst the GoPro uses main L4.2, which makes it, well, it's actually a lower quality, lower resolution type thing, I think. So format settings, reference frames 2 frames, whilst the GoPro uses 1 frame. GOP, the Runcam 3S uses M3 and 15, and the GoPro uses M1 and 30. Codec ID are both AVC1. So what else is there? Yes, bitrate. Right, bitrate, as I've mentioned before, is 30 megabits per second, and the bitrate for the GoPro is 25 megabits per second. Both recording at Full HD, which is 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, both using a display aspect ratio of 16:9, so constant frame rate. And another thing that I find interesting is that the Runcam 3S actually records at a 60 frames per second, whilst the GoPro records at a 59.940 frames. Color spacing is the same, Y yellow, YUV, chroma subsampling 4:2:0:0. Bit depths for both. The bit depth for both are 8 bits. The bit depth for both are 8 bits. Scan type progressive, which is your 1080p. Bits per pixel times frame. Bits per pixel times frame. Now the Runcam actually has more bits per pixel, bits over pixel per frame. Well, I'm not really sure what that is actually. I have to find out. So language, no, that's not important. Audio wise, the Runcam uses PCM, whilst the GoPro uses AAC, advanced audio codec. Format setting NDNS, I'm not sure what that means. It says little here. Codec ID SOWT, format settings sign, I'm not sure what that means either. Now the bit rate for the the Runcam 3S is actually 1411.2 kilobits per second, whilst the bit rate for the GoPro is at 64 kilobits per second. So there's a huge discrepancy there, hugely different. But the GoPro does sound better. I think it has a better mic. The GoPro only records 1 channel, whilst the Runcam actually does 2 channels. Channel position, left, right, front, back. the GoPro compresses the audio to 31 frames per second, while the sample rate is at 32 kilohertz, so it's actually highly compressed, whilst the Runcam runs at 44.1 kilohertz, which is normal audio CD type standard, with a bit depth of 16 bits. Compression, yeah, because the GoPro does compression, so it doesn't have a bit depth. Stream size, GoPro AC. Yep, well, that's about it. That's the difference in the metadata of the files.